Our final journey brings us to the most sobering of our tales. A serious expose questioning what it means to live with the internet or to live through the internet. I will not resort to my usual bag of tricks on this one. No jokes, no puns, no witty commentary. Just a somber reflection that reveals the deep respect that I have for this unbelievably powerful tale that I am about.
Namaste, and welcome to Meditation Safety. Today we're going to cleanse the root chakra. Now, to find the root chakra, locate the halfway point between the genitals and your...
5 seconds! I had 5 seconds and you couldn't even give me that!
Well, this all was part of the compromise, remember? We made omelets.
This was the only serious video we had, and you're fucking it up with your new age... Fuck!
Well, that would make sense. The root chakra does govern fornication. I'll tell you what, perhaps we can compromise again. Together, you and I can learn a thing or two about fornicating, and then you can show your piece.
You let me show the film?
That too.
Well, with that remarkable lead-in, I present to you Dark Side of the Internet.
The internet is an ever-growing system that's becoming more and more a part of our daily lives. It's a tool that you can use from almost anywhere, being able to access it from your PC, your phones, Blackberries, and home consoles. It allows businesses to communicate with people from all over the world, allows a person to express themselves creatively from the comfort of their own home, using any mediums available to them. People can use it to speak their mind, form new relationships, and showcase their talents, be they musical, comedic, athletic, or just use it to show what their own imagination is capable of.
The internet is both terrible and amazing. Terrible because it's chock full of bullies, cliques, melodrama, and conspiracy theorists. And amazing because it's also chock full of brilliant resources, great content, amazing people, and the opportunity to do some truly unbelievable stuff.
One great thing about online media and the internet is it allows pretty much anybody with an opinion or something to say the outlet to say so. And essentially what we have is the massive wealth of human knowledge right at our fingertips.
It's the tool that connects everyone, and thanks to its ever-growing influence, it continues to take the market, the media, the entertainment world, and just how we live our daily lives in an entirely new direction.
It's where I met my boyfriend, it's where I get to talk to my boyfriend, it's where I get to talk to my friends, where I get to make my money. It's kind of a big deal, and some people don't really understand that.
We are probably the most knowledgeable generation just simply because we just have the access to all that information at the same time. You can learn about people, you can learn about science, you can learn about mathematics. It is so much easier for people to just interact with each other as well.
As each new generation of tablet and computer move things further and further into the technological world, the days of high street shops with DVDs and games bought over the counter seem to be fading into obscurity. With the internet, you don't need to go to your local store to buy the latest DVD. You can simply log into a website and have the product delivered to your door. For some, even that is too long a wait. So why not download the product and watch it an hour after clicking the download button? The days of waiting a week for the next episode of your favorite show, waiting to meet with friends to talk about the latest craze, are over. Now you can just log into a chat room, a forum, or just a conference call with friends online. These are just some of the gifts the internet gives us. Spread worldwide, it allows a person living in Australia and a person living in Austria to strike up friendships for life, despite never physically meeting.
With the advent of technology, we no longer expect that we have to wait, and we no longer really expect that we have to put in quite as much effort to get a lot of the stuff that we have to get done. done.
Anyone has an opinion, be it the racist, the homophobe, we all get to hear what they think, and unfortunately it's kind of hard to filter through it no matter what you're doing.
There are also some people whose messages are just hateful or stupid, and they wouldn't have to be seen by anyone if it wasn't for the ease of this medium.
And there's also the fact that as much as you can get your opinion out there, you might never be as popular as a funny cat video. That's always a downside.
This is just an example of both the good and the bad that the internet can bring. Good, because it allows people to get what they want when they want it. But it also showcases the lack of patience shown by the consumer and an ever-growing distance between people because, whereas before, viewers would happily wait for the next episode of their favorite show, now, people are less likely to be as patient and will instead look for the episode online, sometimes going so far as to download it illegally, developing the belief that because it's on the internet, it should be free. While it's great to be able to buy a product online and watch your favorite shows, it's also a system that is slowly killing the once thriving high street market, and proves that, like everything, there are always two sides to every story, and where there's a positive, there is always a negative, and the internet is no exception. This is just a sample of the negatives that the internet can hold. This is the dark side of the internet. While the positives of the internet can be viewed as beneficial to both us and to society in general, there are just as many negatives that are not only viewed as a detriment to society, but can paint human beings in a harsh, distinctly negative light. These can range from copyright infringement to bullying, harassment, stalking, verbal abuse, mental abuse. The list can go on, creating between them an integral web that connects them in some way. However, to break them all down would take far too long, so this documentary is here to present the ABCs of the internet's dark side, and to hopefully make anyone who watches it think next time they find themselves falling into any of the following traps.
There are always going to be some deeply disturbed individuals who think that stalking, harassment and death threats are the correct response to "I do not like this thing on the internet."
Like so many avenues that connect both the good and the bad together, the internet grants many people its most powerful and valued gift, which is aided thanks to the internet's role in the rise in global communication, allowing people from all over the world to speak their mind and voice their opinion, sometimes publicly in front of a camera, and other times anonymously, using audio tracks or just simple text messaging. Thanks to the growth and popularity of social media sites like YouTube, everyone with an opinion can voice it, leading to the inevitable problem that eventually people won't agree with you, or as is often the case, will flat out disagree with you. Comparing the scenario to a real-life situation, meeting a total stranger and getting into a discussion with them about politics, religion, video games, your favorite sport, or favorite show, you will more than likely disagree on a number of issues, but more often than not, it will be a casual debate where neither one of you is right and no mudslinging and name-calling will ever come into effect. When it comes to the internet and you're not sitting opposite the person you're having this disagreement with, the conversation is more than likely to go in one of three ways. Number 1. Treat it as a face-to-face encounter. Put your views forward and respectfully come to the conclusion that you both have different opinions that make neither of you right, but are able to respectfully disagree with each other, maintaining your own belief, but not at the expense of the person seated opposite you. Number 2 is fairly common on the internet, and that can be to forcefully put your views forward, using a confrontational tone or aggressive text to try and overpower the person you disagree with, reinforcing your point at the expense of listening to the other person's opinion. Number 3 is sadly the most frequent when posting online, and that is to attack the person, viewing them as an opponent, someone who doesn't agree with you and is therefore an enemy, and, by the sheer fact that they don't agree with you, is seen as an insult against you, your character, and your beliefs, which usually results in name-calling, threats, lies, insults, and a strong use of profanity. This very reaction to a disagreement in opinion when it comes to the internet gives way to one of the previously mentioned greatest gifts the internet can offer someone, something they are able to exploit at their leisure with no reprimand or consequences, so long as they are careful, and this is the gift of anonymity. Imagine the scene. Sitting at your computer talking to someone and having no idea about who they really are. Maybe they're younger than you, maybe older, maybe the same age, maybe the same sex. They may even be you, and while you can't see them and they can't see you, having that gift of anonymity can work both ways, because it can give you that extra burst of courage allowing you to say things to this person that you might never dare say if you were face to face with them. But what about when that turns into a debate? What about when your opinions are attacked just because the poster doesn't agree with what you have to say? What about when you're being taunted and sworn at, sometimes from people who should know better, but other times from children, typing words and language they would never use if they were standing face to face with you, mostly because...
Who's your mother now, bitch?
People who think they can do things without it ever getting traced back to them tend to do a lot stupider shit than they ever would otherwise.
And what happens when the ability to post and comment anonymously is used for something beyond simply disagreeing with an opinion and using it to childishly call someone names through a comment system? What are the consequences when the victim gets threats directed to their email, their Facebook page, or even their home address?
I guess that's something that I've experienced firsthand. People have anonymity, and so they say things to you that they wouldn't say in person. They have a mask to hide behind. And unfortunately, when you're in the spotlight, when you are a personality who has put themselves forward, people know you better than you know them, and that also makes you a target.
What about when the person is an older man or woman preying on a younger male or female, using anonymity to seek out their target, and then slip away after poisoning their mind into believing what happened was their fault, leaving them free to move on to their next target? The gift of anonymity leaving them with no traceable history of what has happened. What is there to stop the predator preying on the child, making demands that seem harmless, but then are suddenly viewable for the whole world to see? Who's to say it even has to be a predator? It could be a close friend, a love, or trusted confidant, a supposed moment of privacy now made public, a male or female, young or old, now humiliated in the public eye after betrayal of trust. At any age, an event like this can affect a person, and there are many examples of people, both children and adult, who have taken their lives because of an online prank, bullying, or because pictures are strewn across news sites, posted by the people they trust.
When you're online, you have to be so much more careful about your identity and maintaining a good positive base because, let's face it, nowadays your online identity is so important in order to maintain whatever hope you have for the future.
It's these very events that make the combination of A and B so harrowing, and because of this very ability to post anonymously to anyone on the internet, it plays a huge factor in probably the single biggest negative of not just the internet, but the world, this being bullying. With the ability to reach out and talk to anyone, the internet attracts people of all talents, but it can also attract people from all backgrounds too, and not everyone has a pleasant home or school life. Not everyone can read a comment and laugh it off, and no one in life is flawless and perfect. People every day struggle. They struggle through life, they struggle through school and work, they struggle with their society, their sexuality, their beliefs, and their feelings. And to these people, people who are suffering in some way, they see the internet as a way to reach out for help.
People are individuals. They go through their own experiences that shape who they are, and you present the same situation, the same words to two entirely different people, and they will respond differently because they are just different.
I actually feel really bad for kids nowadays, considering that with Facebook and Twitter and the entire advent of social media, that there is no privacy. People can attack you at school, at home, no matter where you are, as long as you bother to partake in one of these services.
These can be people who feel lost and alone, people who yearn for a connection yet can't make one with the people they have around them, so they'll join a website, many a time anonymously, and bare their soul, looking for someone who feels the same, someone who might be going through what they are going through.
But online bullying, I'd say, probably extends to people who get bullied in real life, using it as a way to get back at people since they can be completely anonymous there.
More generally, though, people tend to engage in online bullying for the same reason that people engage in real-life bullying. For status or a feeling of power, or just to make themselves feel better about their own insecurities and frustrations.
But while the internet can be used by these people who are looking for help, it can also be used by others to heap abuse on the same person, mercilessly insulting them with taunts that they should kill themselves and that no one cares about them, picking at their fears and insecurities they've shared with the world.
Anyone who tells you, oh, it's just words, they're an idiot. Words are important. Words have power and are the basis by which human beings interact with each other. Communication, speech, writing, words are everything, and as a writer, I always take that to heart.
They don't seem like real people. They seem like the same way we think of celebrities, and we say horrible shit about celebrities.
It doesn't stop with online blogs and videos, though. Other times, it can be a person who has had an injustice befall them. People who have lost family or loved ones, using the internet as an appeal to reach out, will be sent sick images, usually with a taunt, but always anonymously, of course. Recent reports have detailed young, underage girls photographed drunk and unconscious before being raped publicly. The images then passed around their schools, the rapists caught laughing on camera, taking pride in their actions. Members on Twitter tweeting support of these actions. Actions which can and have forced these people, young people, to be hounded by the society they grow up in.
You can go and you can destroy this other person's life, and you will have zero consequences for it.
But what happens when the perpetrators are caught? When the commenter is named and shamed? Suddenly they are full of remorse. Their laughing boasts and harsh, hateful threats disappear, and they're suddenly full of pleas and apologies. Putting fingers to ears because you don't want to hear it isn't enough, because it's happening. It's happening right now while you're watching this, and instead of looking to blame society, video games, the government, or the TV shows we watch, stop looking to others for the problem and look at yourself. Taking away video games won't solve it. Stopping violence on TV won't help it. Ask yourself why you react the way you do. Ask yourself why you feel more comfortable talking to someone you can't see rather than a member of your own family. Why you can identify with people you meet online, or why you might be living through your online personality.
People become really close to you, and they feel like they know you, and they become very protective of you. And so people are very quick to jump and defend you, and people that you get to talk to on a more personal level than someone who's in Hollywood or something like that.
It's through these connections people can form online that help create an alternate personality, someone they wish they could be rather than the person that they actually are. Their real life a shell, and their online life becoming more important to them, essentially living through their online persona, which leads to a more recent positive and negative side of the internet, and this is the online celebrity. An internet celebrity is generally viewed as one of the people, supported by a fan base that, while small, are fiercely loyal and protective towards the person they follow. And thanks to the homegrown feel, it allows the fan base the opportunity to identify with the personality. This isn't a movie star with an entourage and a team of people speaking for them and writing their tweets. This is a normal person, usually releasing his or her content from their own living premises.
People really love you and they get close to you, and you get to talk to people one-on-one.
I've become friends with many people who are just big hardcore fans of my show and of Channel Awesome in general, and I wouldn't trade those friendships for anything.
The common problem is that whoever finds themselves in the role of the celebrity many a time will suffer from the same insecurities and fears as the members of their own fan base, and just like a person getting sucked into their online world, will sometimes create a persona in order to hide these fears. Though, being in the internet public eye, it will inevitably lead to their opinion being targeted, sometimes by trolls simply looking to get a rise and attention, while other times, which takes us back to the beginning, it can be a matter of someone disagreeing with them.
You're again open to explore anything. You are open to doing what you want to do, and people will allow you to do that to some extent.
This then inevitably creates the hate camps where fans can become vicious and nasty, in effect becoming the same type of people who send threats and insults over Twitter.
It can breed this attitude that if you don't like what we like, if you don't embrace the same things we do, then we will ostracize you and we will do all the things that that we were rejected for.
Overprotective fandoms tend to display behavior that's basically cult-like. They don't allow critique or discussion. They don't allow dissent. They have an irrational dislike of anyone who doesn't like their chosen thing. And my personal favourite, sometimes they go trolling of other websites or other places which are traditionally hostile to their chosen medium. Why?
The same people who tell others to kill themselves because they dislike something that they themselves love, bringing the whole cycle full circle, seeing an expression of opinion as an attack. leaping to the defense of the person they support, but doing it in a way that paints the person they are trying to defend in the most negative of ways.
You don't need to protect them from anyone. They're perfectly capable of doing it themselves. And if they can't, then that's their problem, not yours.
An internet personality is just that, a personality, and fans have no idea as to who the person really is.
They could be completely different than what they put out there, and so people want to defend what they think that person is.
In instances where the viewer needs help, needs guidance, needs someone to identify with due to being unable to speak to a family member, they'll be known to reach out and attach themselves to the personality, seeing them as someone they can identify with, giving the personality a power over the fan looking towards the personality and the character as a friend, as a role model, and when the personality addresses them, they see it as a thrill. The darker side rears its head where, like a priest or teacher taking advantage of a younger person in their care, sometimes the internet personality is no different, using their fame and reputation to entice people, be they male or female, creating the same story of a trust broken, leading to a fear to come forward, to even disagree due to the rabid and protective fan base.
If you're letting your protectiveness of a certain subject get to the point that you're attacking other people, you seriously need to take a step back.
Just as with bullying, just as with the abuse of anonymity, sometimes it can be the abuse of a position that is just as effective and just as damaging, allowing the personality to hide behind the persona they've created, knowing fans wouldn't believe the victim, leaving them with no place to turn, showing they are no better than the predators or the trusted friend. While you may support a personality, may enjoy their work and respect their opinion and talent, this does not make them a flawless person, and attacking others for threatening your illusion of this personality doesn't help you, and it doesn't help them.
People think that the internet is not real life, and it is, and it can get very serious really quickly when people can't distinguish the difference between thinking that there's some big hero and actual legal ramifications or anything like that.
These are just a number of areas that veer towards the internet's darker side, and it's primarily due to the freedom and privileges the internet has granted us that we now act in these ways. From a rude customer speaking to a store worker, to an angry customer talking to a call handler, the level of respect shown to other individuals gets progressively less the further we move away from face-to-face contact. Through comments and interactions over the internet, in chat rooms, forums, or any kind of community, it's almost as if general manners are something people are less likely to possess. And thanks to a rapid culture of demanding more rather than a willingness to wait, it leads to a lack of patience and gives people a sense of entitlement they wouldn't have if the internet hadn't spoilt us with what it offers. Possibly the best example, which showcases not only the consumer's growing lack of empathy, but patience and manners, can be seen when an application from any app store is instantly given a 1-star rating due to it encountering a problem, despite the fact that the manufacturer has made it known that they are attempting to fix it and may have even offered a form of compensation to unhappy customers. The general belief is if it doesn't work instantly, it deserves a 1-star. Service be damned.
People aren't really sure where the lines are anymore. And because we aren't sure where the lines are, we start fabricating our own.
The internet continues to change our world, with new developments seemingly being discovered every day. The speed increases, the communication improves, but it seems with every step we take with our technology, the result is a step backward in our humanity. Every username online belongs to a person, and the person on the other end will see your words, read your reply, will be drawn to you, or disagree with you.
People want their views validated. There's a certain level of that in people that put their content on the internet, but there's also a certain level of it coming back.
There is just this fire hose of content, and it is really difficult to, if you're a viewer, find the things that you're interested in, and if you're a creator, find the people who will be interested in the things that you've made.
Just because another person disagrees with you does not mean that they are insulting you, your character, or standing against your beliefs. If you react to it as an insult, then the issue may very well be with yourself and is something that you need to deal with. Just because you can't see the person you're talking to doesn't give you the right to insult them, their family, or their beliefs, and just because a person supplies some form of entertainment doesn't mean that you know who that person is and have the right to insult and threaten people who may not agree with the person that you admire. At the end of the day, as much as you may want to detach yourself from the event, you are still a human being, threatening harm to another human being for the simple case of them expressing an opinion. That sort of behavior would not be tolerated in public. and it should not be tolerated over the net.
There are a lot of great ideas that would just basically go unrealized if it wasn't for online media.
I can get my stuff out to a huge audience, and it's as easy as just going to social media and tweeting and going to Facebook and Tumblr and all these places and just saying, here's my stuff, I hope you like it.
Of course, people still want you to explain things to them in great detail instead of just Googling it for themselves. Lazy f***s.
The internet is an ever-growing system that's becoming more and more a part of our daily lives. It's a tool that you can use from almost anywhere, being able to access it from your PC, your phones, Blackberries, and home consoles. It allows businesses to communicate with people from all over the world, allows a person to express themselves creatively from the comfort of their own home, using any mediums available to them. It is not a device for you to prey on the innocent, to bully others, to launch hate campaigns against people just because of their opinion or the way they choose to live their life. It is not a tool to spread lies and hearsay that hurt an innocent party's reputation, or to harass, abuse, or send sickening threats. Freedom of speech and expression does not give anyone the freedom to threaten and spill hate. So the next time you type in a distinctly hateful comment or reply, the next time you harass or wish death upon someone, the next time you blindly follow an individual or abuse a position of power, remember this film and ask yourself, what if it were me? What if it were my brother, my sister, or someone I love receiving these messages and living this nightmare? Think of the people closest to you. Think of everything that's been said and the examples that have been given here today, and then decide. Decide if you could still do it, still send that message. And if the answer is yes, what does that honestly say about the type of person you are?
For all its bad and good elements, in the end, it's just a way to communicate with people. That is the internet to me.